Argos, Montreal. Montreal's defense, we're going to talk about how many things they did to the Argos. Let's start with this right here. So they started the game without a defensive lineman in the game. The new player, number 44, didn't go in. But watch this football IQ by Sankey. He just steps over the line, creates a penalty so they can get their players on. So it's obviously, you can see him right now said, hey, come on out, come on out. They're saying, hey, you didn't come out. First play for the rookie, my guy number 44 in his first game ever. So I love the situational football. They'd rather take the penalty than play with not enough guys on the field. So the big thing for Montreal, you can see what they try to do is right here, you got a bunch of guys standing at the line of scrimmage. So the quarterbacks has to process on 2nd and 8 who's coming and who's not, because some of those guys are going to trigger him being hot. What does hot mean? That you can't block them all. And that's kind of what happens right here. You can see by Nick's drop, he's throwing like it is a hot situation. Let's go. And what does hot mean is we can't pick them all up. So everybody's trying to go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Now the tailback has to decide, and they'll have rules whether he goes front side or back side. Tailback goes to take Beverett. That would be a free player. Now, how these guys buy a little bit of time is because they think Sankey's dropping, so these two fan to those two. But see how Sankey starts to go late? And he's really, I believe, covering the back. So now the line has to worry about him, but then they do a good job and recognize it. So it's technically not hot if they get back to that space, but hard to recognize early in the game. Okay, take a look at that angle. Again, see from a little bit wider angle. Okay, once again, 2nd and extra. So I expect Montreal right here is going to show blitz and bail out. And there it is. Four-man front. Four-man front here. Throw on the outside. Okay, let's do the protection again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He would have 6. So it's not a hot situation. And everybody bails out. So once they bail out, these two can slide to that one. So you have rules where these two guys take any combination of two of those three. So as he drops out, he fans and he fans. As he drops out, he can double, Dylan win, and he can be by himself. All right, this is a mistake in the count and pressure, a zone blitz to a run play, and not a lot of answers for the quarterback here. Like, he does have what's called a sally, a naked pass route, but when two people come off the edge, you have to hand the ball off, because that player is going to come right to the quarterback. And I'll show you from the end zone. All right, so again, we're trying to run an inside zone play. You can see his hand up. That hand is telling you 5, 5. Tell you we're blocking the 5 guys up. So those 5 are blocked. He's going to be free. And then he's going to be free. So the quarterback might have been able to pull off of one player. And what I mean by that is pull this football. But he can't pull off two, because one's designed to go to quarterback, one's designed to go to the back. So he just has to hand it off and hope they break a tackle. Williams here breaks a tackle. And obviously Beverett's there for a tackle for a loss. But good pressure here. What you have to do to handle this, when you know this stuff is coming, you have to have some throw over this side here. And you can kill that blitz. So you have some type of route to throw on the other side of the field. That's what you would call the RPO game or the kill game to stop run blitzes. All right, we got an interception coming here. Corner doesn't really back up. A little bit late on this throw. A little bit pressure here. All right, once again, let's try to figure out what we're doing from a protection scheme here. So the first thing I'm going to say is I believe, I'm trying to figure out what call they made. All right, so either way, we got to count up numbers. Let's start counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people with only 6 blockers, 5 linemen and a back. So the quarterback should know this possibility could be hot. So I believe this is what happened. 1, 2, 3. He's on by himself right there. So now you have 3 people left. He goes here, and the tailback tries to take that one. So Sage here gets confused a little bit. And with Sage getting confused, there's a twist that happens. So as he goes here, he comes around the horn, he comes inside. So you would like these two to pass this back. See, right there? And that's why this twist stuff is hard. These guys go right here so he can go around. If these 3 have those 3, the center can't disappear. The back takes him. He stays here. Now, Sage looks like he's late, but I think as he recognizes Ademi Berglund bails, leaves that to the tackle and steps in. So this is what's hard about Montreal's defense. There's so many moving parts, and there's so many changes you have to make on the fly that get in the quarterback's rhythm of throwing the football. Okay, we got a big sack here. Sankey gets in. I believe that Sankey gets in for a huge play. All right, there's a couple of issues here. And I think, again, I never know what their protection scheme is, but I'm going off what standard CFL stuff is. But here's what Montreal did a great job, is they overloaded again and created confusion. So let's count them up again and figure out how you have to block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. So there's only 6 blockers here. So if you have to protect the quarterback and protect the inside gaps before you protect outside gaps, because you protect the inside gaps to give them more time. And that's what didn't happen here. So let's start with the threats. If we're protecting out there with one of those guys, he's protecting here. Let's call the center right up here. And there's still 2 threats right here, if that makes sense. So if they said they were sliding this way, then he's got to slide this way. Then he technically has to slide that way because that's 3 for 3. And then he technically have to slide for the guy over the center. And then he would technically have to come here. And that would take one of the extra guys. And the tailback would take this one. And then that's who you're throwing hot off of. That's one way to do it. Or they went big, 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 big. Okay? Put everybody, you're big on big. And we said we're not blocking this guy. And that's fine too. If you did that, there's still a little bit of confusion on what they want to do with this backside threat. If they did it that way, the tailback would take 20. And you see the tailback did go to 20. But then they did this awesome twist. So it's double linebackers twist. So watch the center. He gets picked. He can't get off. So technically, they went 3 for 3 right here. He just can't bury his head in there. But it's also, he doesn't take 58. Like, there's a lot of confusion here because he goes out. And that's going to leave him. If they decided to go all the way back this way, It's going to create a lot of confusion inside. Then he would have had to come inside. He would have had to come inside in the 24. And that's why you try not to... You try to be in a position where you can have extra blockers in. But good twist, good scheme. Everybody stand in the line of scrimmage, then bailing out. So you don't just get pressure all the time. You get showing pressure and dropping people out also at times. I'll pause it. Okay. Count them up again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people standing in line of scrimmage again. From a protection standpoint, I would think they would do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I would call a solid call. The tailback would take one of these two. If both come, the quarterback takes the second one. What I mean by that is you have to get the ball out of his hand before the second one gets there. Now, this is what's called a duel. If he drops, these two continue their slide. If he were to step into them, they stay on the 2-on-2. He drops, allows them to slide to this space. Now, the whole line appears to predetermine and slide that way. They go 4 for 4 that way. So now, not sure who's got this guy. Okay, but Williams ends up taking this edge. Nick's protected. But they just create problems with different pictures. It's easy when it's just a 4-man front to figure stuff out. Once again, here's a 7-up picture. Everybody standing at the line of scrimmage. Watch, very good by Toronto, doing a cadence. Okay, what that means is they're trying to take a picture of the defense. See, is it going to be blitz or not? Then you see all these people drop out. Great throw by Nick. But again, the quarterback's taking a hit because they've got Duquois standing at the end of the line of scrimmage. So you can see the guy's making a call right here on the left-hand side. Hunter's making a call. Right? They're saying what's going on. I think they're saying it's an up call. And I think they're saying everybody's up. That's what we'd say. 7 up, 7 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. So what are they going to do? Protection scheme is block these guys, and he would take him. If he were to drop, he would sprint over here and take him. See Nick saying up. Nick saying 7 up. Everybody's up. He's trying to say be ready for a quick throw. And then he watches. Again, I'm trying to sort out protection-wise. Toronto may be doing something differently from scheme because their tailback, they don't big on big. They slide this to Beverett. They slide this here. So I think they went this way, put the tailback here. And here's what's difficult. As he drops, some teams will teach this slide, this duel, to just keep retreating. And that way, when he steps in, the left guard has him, the left tackle has him. But the hardest part of this for Nick is that's going to happen late. This guy, you got to treat, when they sugar the defense, what I call line the guy up, let's throw the ball hot. Get the ball to your hand. Really good by Nick here, throwing it into a spot. Couple more pictures. Once again, standing at line of scrimmage, up and bringing another one, then bailing out late. So one of the things you can answer to help yourself is to put more people in protection to make it simplified. And as we saw in the game, I like what Williams does here. All right, everybody, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like what Hunter does. He sets with depth. The duel takes the outside 2. They let him go. So they must have had a key that he would drop. So now the running back goes from him to backside. So good pickup. The tackle also sees one dropping out. But Nick starts to scramble, and this is a fumble that's scored right before the half. Okay, big play by Demi Berglund and company. All right, here's another one later in the third quarter. Okay, now a 5-man rush with zone, got a lead, not showing as much pressure. Demi Berglund has a nice speed rush here. He just beats Hunter's hands right here. Hunter's a little bit late with his hands. Really good swipe. And just gets to Nick. And again, the hard part of all this stuff when you put 5 guys at the line of scrimmage, like Montreal does, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to get twists. And what's a twist? Moving guys. So watch this right here. Boom. All right, he's running into the left guard. He's pinning the left guard so he can start, and then he gets a speed rush inside. You can see it right there. So not only is this one beat, but as Nick goes to climb the pocket, there's a free player right there. So the hard part of this stuff is you got to recognize this. You got to recognize, and I know this is Sage Dockstader, who's a new player. You got to know when this guy's screwing with you. And what I mean by that, he's not rushing. He's occupying. He went way too wide. So now he should be yelling, switch, switch, switch. And he should come in, and he should come in. And then he takes this one, and he steps in and takes that one. See, the left tackle recognizes it. But Sage can't be dug in here. He's got to recognize this sooner, have his shoulders square. Once again, good pass rush. One of the last ones of the game. This is 11 clips here. There's a lot of math going on in this game here. Nice interception. Once again, you have 5 guys standing up and then bailing people at the snap, but it's one-on-ones across the board. Okay, let's do numbers once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the line of scrimmage. There's the 6th player. When you put 5 guys at the line of scrimmage, nobody gets help. Everybody's on a single. So they're all one-on-one. And that's kind of what happens. They got a Demi Berglund here, and he's starting to rush. So it puts everybody, he's one-on-one, he's one-on-one, he's one-on-one, he's one-on-one, he's one-on-one. That's why you're doing it. To try to create one-on-ones that people can win. And really good protection, good it's good pickup, but the push is just too much. You can see the right tackle getting thrown. Right guard getting thrown. And Nick gets sacked from the backside. Outstanding game by the Montreal defense.